Welcome to this explainer. I am your professor, and today we're going on a deeply personal journey. Your journey, actually. Think of yourself as the traveler here. We're looking at the ultimate crossroads of human existence. Which are you going to choose? The comfortable, easy warmth of the herd's approval, or the terrifying, raw isolation of absolute truth? Let's dive in.
We call this the descent of the honest witness. It's an inverted journey. See, traditional hero narratives, they climb upward, right, into the light and glory of society. But this path forces you to dig downward, away from everything you've ever known, stripping away all societal illusions to become the ultimate honest witness.
Here is the blueprint of the psyche. We're looking at 4 major phases today. Phase 1, the social shedding. Phase 2, the intellectual desert. Phase 3, the great fatigue. And finally, Phase 4, the overfullness.
What's really fascinating here is how these 4 heavy psychological phases map perfectly onto the rigid architecture of the 7 Nietzschean solitudes. As you, the traveler, dig deeper, the number of the solitude gets higher, right up until you hit that explosive breakthrough in Solitude 7.
So, Phase 1, the social shedding, which covers solitudes 1 through 3.
This is where your descent kicks off. You have to go through the incredibly painful process of disconnecting from the structural glue of society. You're shedding your performative sanity, what we might playfully call the official Elias, your everyday bureaucratic self. You literally discard the king's orders and abandon your high-ranking identity like a heavy, totally useless crown. Stepping into the silence of the office means the endless noise of societal expectation finally goes totally silent. It's just you now.
And exiting that collective, towering architecture of society throws you straight into the friction of the pit. Here you meet Mephistopheles, the negator, who rubs in this stinging grit. It hurts, absolutely, but it's a completely necessary irritant. It hardens you. You need those calluses to survive the sudden, freezing shock of losing the herd's comforting warmth.
Moving right along to Phase 2, the intellectual desert, solitudes 4 and 5.
Having ditched the collective map entirely, you plunge into a totally isolated wasteland. External laws completely fail you here. You're navigating the geometry of the grotesque, shapes and realities that make absolute zero sense to the civilized mind. You literally only have a void compass now, and it's pointing to your own terrifyingly subjective true north.
And you know, you're not just wandering out here. The archetypal surgeons step out from the shadows. With their surgeon's blade, they begin making these really dangerous psychological incisions, methodically cutting away your final lingering illusions, the last lies you tell yourself just to feel safe at night.
As those illusions die, so does all objective truth. You are forced to confront the uncanny mirror. This is the ultimate act of self-observation, where you literally have to look at the back of your own head. You're confronting the repressed, hidden mechanisms of your own psyche, and you've got to learn to love the terrifying danger of that total honesty.
Now we hit Phase 3, the great fatigue, Solitude 6.
The initial adrenaline of shedding your past is completely gone. You're now plunged into the heaviest, most purgatorial depth of the whole descent. Crushed by the hermit's burden, you find yourself totally isolated, speaking from inside the wound. You're carrying the agonizing weight of 10,000 hells, bearing every unspoken truth you were once too afraid to voice back up in the kingdom.
At this weary bottom, you just have to endure. There is no quick escape, no intellectualizing your way out. You just sit in this purgatorial state, enduring the immense pressure of the world's hidden rot, until that stream becomes so impossibly heavy that your absolute final mask simply cracks right open.
Which brings us to the end. Phase 4, the overfullness, Solitude 7.
The pressure breaks, but you don't climb back up. You break right through the bottom and step into the lit room. Here, the undeniable absolute heat of the furnace of revelation incinerates whatever shattered pieces of your former societal self are still hanging on.
This breakthrough creates what we call the triple-tongued synthesis. It is the profound, final merging of all your internal contradictions. The painful grit of the pit and the structural glue of the world are seamlessly merged into a single living reality. You've perfectly synthesized the extreme isolation of truth with a complete understanding of the world. Through this incredible synthesis, you are essentially reborn as a great star. It's a direct mirror to Nietzsche's Overman, returning to the world. You aren't hiding in the desert anymore. You return, but you are forever free from the prison of the clock and the crown.
Let's contrast this for a second.
Think about the original social structure of the kingdom you left behind. King's orders, structural glue, performative sanity, relying entirely on the comfort of the herd. It's safe, sure, but it is asleep. Now, look at your new reality, the final vigil. You are the honest witness, standing in a permanent vigil rooted in the powerful, waking isolation of the I.
Because you aren't bound to the herd anymore, you stand as a light arriving from an unexpected angle. Your permanent vigil actually pierces the shadows, illuminating the raw truth for everyone who is still unknowingly trapped up in those comfortable societal structures.
So, we've mapped this completely agonizing, yet incredibly liberating, inverted descent. Knowing the excruciating price of leaving the herd to become a great star. My final question for you is this. Are you truly ready to abandon the kingdom and face your own uncanny mirror?